If you've ever felt like you're constantly trying to build better habits, only to completely fall off the wagon a few days later, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're diving deep into an explainer where we decode a completely no-nonsense framework to finally fix your discipline and consistency. We're pulling these insights directly from a phenomenal breakdown by the self-upgrade source. So let's strip away all the myths and focus on the actual, literal mechanics of self-control. Let's be real for a second and start with a harsh but incredibly relatable question. If your discipline was already strong, would you be searching for a solution right now? The honest answer is no. And you know what? That is completely okay. You already know what you need to do, what your goals are, and exactly what tasks need your attention. The gap here isn't in your knowledge. The gap is in the execution. Acknowledging this simple truth is our starting point today. We aren't here to learn about new goals. We're here to learn how to actually execute the ones you already have.
All right, Section 1, the real problem with discipline. We have to properly diagnose the disease before we can apply the cure.
You know this toxic cycle. We all do. Step 1, you sit down, you make these really ambitious plans, and you write out meticulous notes. Step 2, you feel this massive surge of excitement and motivation. Step 3, it actually works. I mean, for about 2 or 3 days, everything is just perfect. But then comes Step 4. Suddenly, completely out of nowhere, the flow breaks. You miss a day, and inevitably, we land right on Step 5, intense self-blame. You start beating yourself up, caught in this endless loop of hope, followed by just crushing guilt.
But listen closely to this because it is the absolutely crucial point you need to hear to relieve all that immense guilt. You are not the problem. You are not fundamentally broken, and you are not inherently lazy. Blaming yourself isn't just making you feel terrible, it's actually blinding you to the real forces at play that are causing you to fail.
Because these are the real culprits. Your environment, your unmanaged habits, and your daily systems. They are quietly working together in the background to drain your willpower every single day. Look, if your environment is designed for distraction, your discipline will fail. If your habits are running on autopilot toward instant gratification, your discipline will fail. The system you live in dictates your actions far, far more than your inner desires do. And this right here exposes the ultimate brain trap. Just think about your morning for a second. The exact moment you wake up and check your phone, you are flooding your mind with cheap dopamine. It is literally like eating a giant bowl of sugary candy for breakfast. So an hour later, when you sit down to do your actual meaningful work, that work now feels terribly, painfully boring. Your brain totally rejects the slow effort because it's already had the fast reward. You're basically killing your focus before your day even begins. Which brings us to Section 2, the game of systems, not willpower. It's time to stop fighting a losing battle inside our own heads and just change the game entirely. This is the biggest paradigm shift of the entire analysis. See, the common myth is that discipline equals willpower. People think strong people are just somehow naturally better at ignoring the distractions buzzing around them. But the reality? Discipline equals systems. Strong people do not use their precious willpower to resist the phone sitting right there on their desk. They build strict systems to entirely remove those distractions from their lives. They just put the phone in another room entirely. It's that simple. Let's move into Section 3, rules for focus and action. Now we get to explore the concrete, actionable rules to actually implement these systems. The source outlines these rapid-fire, non-negotiable rules for your workspace. First, banish the phone. Keep it completely out of arm's reach. Second, kill the notifications entirely. Do not let some random app dictate where your attention goes. And third, keep your work clear and small. When you're easily distracted, looking at a massive project is terrifying. So break it down so your brain knows exactly what tiny step to take next. If you follow these rules, you are quite literally cutting off the oxygen to your distractions. To really execute this properly, we're going to use an incredibly powerful hack. Short time, full focus. It is brilliantly simple. It demands just 25 to 30 minutes of pure, uninterrupted effort. No breaks, zero distractions, just the work. Your brain might completely panic at the thought of working for 4 hours straight, but it can easily agree to 25 minutes. You're creating this tiny bubble of absolute perfection, and once that timer rings, you've already won the battle. Finally, Section 4. Change your identity, gain discipline. Let's look at how stringing together these 25-minute blocks fundamentally rewires your deep psychology. This next insight totally shatters an illusion that is holding millions of people back right now. Action brings motivation. Motivation doesn't bring action. We all sit around waiting for this magical feeling of motivation to strike before we start our work. But the source flips this completely upside down. You must take the action first. Start typing, start reading, start running, whatever it is. Do the action and the motivation will naturally follow a few minutes later.
Because the truest form of discipline isn't about feeling fired up all the time. Honestly, true discipline is simply executing your tasks even when you feel incredibly lazy. It is taking action directly against your feelings. When your mind says, I really don't want to, discipline is that muscle that says, yeah, well, we are doing it anyway. To start building this muscle, you're going to follow a really simple 3-step progression starting today. Step 1, pick just one small task. Please don't set massive, unrealistic targets. Just one thing. Step 2, complete it without any excuses and without any delays. And step 3, just watch as this process begins to change your identity into a person of action. You stop being the person who breaks plans, and you start proving to yourself daily that you are someone who gets things done. Because here is the ultimate payoff. Changed identity equals automatic discipline. Once you shift your internal narrative from someone who struggles all the time to someone who always keeps the promises they make to themselves, everything shifts. Discipline completely ceases to be a painful daily struggle. It just becomes who you are. It becomes completely automatic.
I want to leave you with this final mantra to adopt immediately into your life. No excuses, only discipline. When your alarm goes off tomorrow morning and your brain begs you to reach for that fast dopamine hit, you have to ask yourself a question. Are you going to fall right back into that toxic cycle of excuses? Or are you finally ready to build the system that sets you free?